Welcome back. Apartheid killer Eugene de Kock is just one of hundreds of prisoners being considered for parole, according to Correctional Services Minister Ndebele. De Kock, nicknamed Prime Evil, served as a policeman under the apartheid government. He was arrested in 1994 for the deaths of scores of anti-apartheid activists. De Kock was sentenced 2 years later to 212 years in prison for crimes against humanity. In his affidavit, de Kock says the crimes he committed were as a result of the political climate at the time. He's already served 17 years of his sentence. Let's get some insight from investigative journalist Jacques Pauw. He broke the story on apartheid death squads and later penned the book Into the Heart of Darkness, Confessions of Apartheid's Assassin. Jacques, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Now, last year we know that de Kock made an application for parole, but it was denied. What do we make of the latest news?
Well, I mean, first of all, we must remember that although de Kock was sentenced in October 1996, he was already arrested in May 1994. So in May this year, he would have served 20 years. Remember that a prisoner gets credit for the time he's an awaiting trialist, awaiting prisoner. So de Kock has in fact served 20 years of his life sentence, and as such, he does qualify for parole. His parole at the end of 2012, beginning of 2013, was turned down, and the parole board then said to him, well, come back to us in a year's time and apply again for parole. He applied for parole at the end of last year. There's 3 stages of parole. The first stage is the parole board itself. They approved de Kock's application for parole. I've got their report. It's a very glowing report. He's done all his rehabilitation courses. He's reconciled with his witnesses. There's a psychological report that says he will never do it again. There's a report from a social worker that says that he wouldn't do it again and that he has a great support system behind us. The recommendation by the parole board was then sent to the advisory committee on parole, which is chaired by Mr. Justice Desai. They approved his or recommended his parole as well. That parole is now with the Minister of Correctional Services, Ndebele. All indications are that he's in favor of parole and that de Kock would be a free man by May this year. He would have served 20 years of his sentence then. We must remember that de Kock is a common criminal. Mr. Justice Willem van der Merwe said that clearly in the Pretoria High Court in October 1996 when he sentenced him. He's a common criminal, and as such, he should be able to qualify for parole as well.
Now,
he's not unique in that regard.
As you mentioned, 20 years in prison is quite a long time, and before he went into prison, South Africa was a completely different world, and today it is a completely different world. What is his mental state?
Well, you know, I've been working on the de Kock story this week, and it's tomorrow in City Press and Rapport. He has in fact been booked out. I mean, I don't know what other word to use. He's been booked out by the NPA, the National Prosecuting Authority, for the past 4 or 5 years because he's been working on a program with the NPA to find missing children. De Kock, for example, just the other day was in Melville in Johannesburg. He travels around. He's been out of prison quite a lot over the past 4 or 5 years. People don't know about it. I mean, we're publishing photographs tomorrow of what de Kock looks now. By the way, he's turning 65 on Wednesday. So he's been booked out, he's been traveling around, he's been working for the NPA. He's also, very interestingly, he's been looking for the body of a man he killed in 1985, Yapi Mapanya. That was one of the murders for which he got a life sentence. They kidnapped Yapi Mapanya in 1985, they tortured him, and then they killed him in Swaziland. De Kock killed him with a spade. And de Kock has been assisting the NPA over the past year to look for Yapi Mapanya's body in order to reconcile with the Mapanya family as well. De Kock has said that he would like to reconcile with the Mapanya family, who's always been opposed to his early release or his release on parole before he gets his parole.
Did he reveal why the need to reconcile with the family?
You know, whether we like de Kock or not, and I've always been vehemently against parole for de Kock or an early release for de Kock. He has been on an extraordinary journey since the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in 1996, or after he was found guilty in October 1996. And that was to meet the family of his victims and to reconcile with them and to ask them for forgiveness. And he's been doing that since October 1996. He's been doing it at the Truth Commission. He's been doing it privately. And, you know, we have to accept that sometimes prison do change a man for the good. And maybe, and you know, Mr. Justice Willem van der Merwe said in his judgment in October 1996 that even a man like Eugene de Kock should be able to get parole one day, given his circumstances. And maybe that day has arrived now. Maybe South Africa should reconcile with Eugene de Kock as well and accept that he is very soon going to be amongst us again.
Jacques, thank you so much for your time this evening. That was investigative journalist Jacques Pauw.
Know more. ENCA.com